Hello and welcome to the University of Cincinnati UCED Introduction to Disability. In this training, a few learning objectives are to understand and know the major types of disabilities, to incorporate inclusive language to talk about disability, and to plan and conduct accessible events. In this presentation, you might encounter a mistake you've made in the past with your words about those with disabilities. The goal of this is not to make you feel apologetic or awkward, but to encourage you to change your way of thinking and interacting with people who have disabilities. Many people aren't sure of the many types of disabilities and how something is classified as a disability. Disability, according to the ADA, is a person who has a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities, a person with a history or record of physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities, or a person who is regarded to as having a physical or mental impairment that substantially limits one or more major life activities. A developmental disability is a severe chronic disability that is a mental or physical impairment or combination of the two. This disability occurs before the age of 22. It continues indefinitely and results in substantial functional limitations in 3 or more areas of major life activity. This in turn reflects needs for services, support, and assistance. A physical or mobility disability includes difficulty moving or lifting arms or legs, weak or tight muscles, and may require use of a mobility device such as a wheelchair, walker, or cane. An intellectual or cognitive disability includes limitations in intellectual functioning and adaptive behavior. This causes a need for support with self-care tasks and independent living. A speech disability can be a speech impairment or an individual that may communicate non-verbally or through a communication device. A sensory disability may include visual impairment such as being blind or hearing impairment, including being deaf. Psychiatric disabilities are difficulty managing emotions such as depression, anxiety, or anger. This causes a diagnosis with a mental illness such as bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, or anything else. An important component to understanding disabilities is knowing that not all are visible. People-first language is an objective and respectful way to speak about people with disabilities by emphasizing the person first rather than identifying them as their disability. It recognizes that the person is not just defined as their disability. People-first language versus identifying the person as their disability is listed below. Identity-first language is a way of referring to a person with a disability that emphasizes the disability as the identity. For example, people-first identity would be calling someone a person with autism, while identity-first language would be calling them an autistic person. Everyone is different in how they would like to be identified, and if you aren't sure, you can ask. Here are a few short clips about things people say to those with disabilities.
What happened to you? What's the deal with that thing?
But you're so pretty.
Yeah, it's totally accessible. There's just a single step.
Oh, I totally understand you. I get so frustrated when the elevator's broken.
Jesus will heal you if you keep praying for it.
So you work?
Oh, you work? Oh, how nice.
Do you feel embarrassed when you're out in public?
Yeah, I sprained my ankle once, so I totally understand.
Are you a puppet?
Hey, dude, can you get a DUI on that thing?
Beats walking, huh?
Oh my god, you are such an inspiration.
You are such an inspiration.
You're so inspiring.
I could never do what you do.
My grandma uses a wheelchair, so I totally understand what you're going through.
Beep beep! How fast does that thing go?
Go, Speed Racer, go!
I don't know how I could get myself up in the morning.
Hi, I'm John.
Hey, my nephew's in a wheelchair. Do you know him too?
I have a used friend Tom who's in a wheelchair.
My brother-in-law is in a wheelchair.
Hey, my roommate's brother Mark is in a wheelchair. Do you know him?
So, can you,
Have sex?
Does it still work?
Can you have sex in that thing?
Oh my god, your disability makes me feel so shitty about my able-bodied privilege.
I found out my baby has your disability, and I was about to abort it. But then I met you.
You're so inspiring.
You are such an inspiration.
Can you, have sex?
I wake up feeling rotten about my life, and then I think of you.
Oh, that sucks.
But you're so pretty.
So can you,
Can you still, Can you still have sex? Just wondering.
You are inspired.
Can you have sex in that chair?
forget that wheelchair. You could just sit on my lap and ride me.
I know that look, the rabbit in the headlights. And there's that look, the look which says, oh, this is going to get awkward. I reckon she's got about 2 seconds to decide on left-handed shake, chest bump, or the less common job interview wave.
Hi, thanks for coming in.
Nice to meet you. Left-handed shake, good decision.
Scope. Let's end the awkward. Let's face it, life's full of awkward moments. So to find out if you're as cool as a cucumber or as awkward as it gets, take our short quiz by clicking the yellow button. Or if you've taken the quiz, check out our other End the Awkward ads by clicking below.
Look at that face. He's clearly not trying to be anything but polite, but she's still thinking, you're going to stay there all day. So now what? Stay as he is? Hop on her lap? Get down on his knees? Or stand up and speak to her like you would anyone else?
So nice to finally put a face to a name.
Yeah, you too.
Good move.
Scope. Let's end the awkward. Let's face it, life's full of awkward moments. So to find out if you're as cool as a cucumber or as awkward as it gets, take our short quiz by clicking the yellow button. Or if you've taken the quiz, Check out our other End the Awkward ads by clicking below.
A few disability do's and don'ts are as follows. And finally, to make training accessible, the biggest component here is location. The location must be accessible. There must be accessible parking, signage to the training, accessible restrooms, and a transportation route to get to the venue. Registration information gives you information you'd want to know in advance, such as special accommodations, materials, lunch, a sign language interpreter, or closed captioning. During your presentation, be sure to keep it short and simple. Use plain language that's easy to understand while explaining the terms and confirming that each is understood. A microphone is very helpful and should be encouraged to use by everyone. Be sure to keep track of time because transportation is scheduled in advance and cannot be changed. Be sure to describe your slides. Make sure your font is large and not too much text per slide. Some strategies for working together are always to be yourself. Everyone's much more comfortable in a relaxed environment, and it makes it easier to ask questions rather than make assumptions. When meeting an individual with a disability, also be yourself. If you typically shake hands, then do so. If not, just say hello. If you are meeting a person who is blind or has a visual impairment, be sure to identify yourself. For any questions, comments, and concerns, please contact Erica Coleman. Thank you and have a great day.